The following episode may contain sensitive content. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh, wow. I'm here for that. That was very
the show
soothing.
Must go on.
I'm Tracey.
And I am Nikki. And we're here to judge. But we can't judge too hard. Otherwise, Tracey's going to start coughing.
I am. Can you tell I'm all congested and sick and I'm sucking on a cough drop. So, sorry if you hear the click against my teeth.
Oh, pobrecita.
Poor baby.
Poor baby. Tracy's a little sick today, so we apologize that her sexy voice is not as sexy as usual.
But it should be sexier. Remember, like, what is it, Phoebe, when she was on Friends, and she was like, my stinky shoe, my stinky stick. Yeah. So. Yeah. I'll channel
baby.
Yeah. I'm gonna channel Phoebe today.
Yeah. Okay, how's it going? So you've been sick for a few days now. So
I have.
Everyone give it up for Tracey. She showed up today, even though I'm sure her body was like, bitch, we gotta rest. Hey.
Hey, listen, I've been resting and I'm glad to have this. So
good.
No,
it's a little break from reality.
Well, yeah, I'm being like, I'm sick.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were gonna text me. Boo you, whore.
No, I was like getting my ish together. I actually was doing some laundry. I was trying to be responsible because I'm gonna go to work tomorrow. So I was like, I need to get my life together. So I was doing laundry, and I hate leaving things sitting in the dryer. And then even if I throw it in my bed, I want to like lay it out a little bit so it doesn't wrinkle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like trying to hurry.
Yeah. So I'm doing laundry today too.
Yay, Wednesday. Hump day is laundry day.
Yes,
how sexy.
Yes, it is. Super sexy, guys. You know?
Yeah. So I'm boring. What have you been up to? Hopefully, please, let me live vicariously through you. Be more exciting. What
did I do?
Don't disappoint me.
It was my birthday.
Yay!
Oh, right. It was my actual birthday.
Yes.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
It was my actual birthday 2 days ago. It was on Monday. So, I need to be wiser about my choices. So I had made up my mind, like, I'm not going to work on my birthday. I ended up working because, like, one of the members convinced me because it was his birthday too. And I had a great time teaching. It's not that I didn't. But I would have preferred to slept in, Yeah. And it is important, and it might not be a holiday, but it's a holiday for me. So after this year, I'm making the decision that I will not be working because I always end up working on my birthday. Because
you do.
Like, oh, let's celebrate together.
Right.
And I'm like, oh yeah, people pleasing all the way. So I need to like put my foot down. So this year, I am making the decision that I will not be working again on my birthdays. I'm going to take that day for me. But
I can't wait to play this clip back next year. And you being like, so I worked today. Be like, what did we learn?
Guys, Remember episode something or 39 or something like
39.
that? Episode
Nikki has
39
learned
where she
nothing
said
a year
that.
later.
She's still the same girl.
No, I believe you. So that's good.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
take care of
I
yourself.
was borderline like, no, I'm not going to, and then I was like, whatever. And also like, my job is if I'm not working, I'm not making money, so I have to be there.
Yeah.
And hopefully by next year I don't, because the podcast is making the money. So
There we go. Let's go.
manifesting that right now.
Yes. Thank you very much.
So I think it is important that we take care of ourselves in that way. But that being said, I had like a great weekend. So Saturday I had Trey and I celebrated. We went to a restaurant, and then Sunday we had like 2 friends over. We just like drank, and I was like kind of depressed because I wasn't able to get I was able to get in the queue for Taylor Swift's concert. But I was like in the queue, it was 40,000 people ahead of me, and her concert was this weekend, so I wasn't able to get the tickets at face value, so I couldn't go, and it was kind of depressing. And then we just started watching the Eras tour here, and we played Cards Against Humanity, we drank some wine, and then on Monday, after I taught my classes, went to get my nails done, because I do it every 2 weeks, so I had to go regardless. But then I had dinner with the girls. There's something about, I'm a girl's girl all the way.
Yeah.
Something that about being with your girlfriends that is so healing, and it can be like, the topics can go so deep and can be so shallow too.
Right.
And it's just the best fucking time. Like, I love my boyfriend, but he cannot provide that for me, and I love that I get to separate that, like, I get this from this group of people and I get this from him,
Right.
And oh my god, we had a great time. I love those bitches so much. I know you love them too. So
Yeah, it looked like fun.
It was so much fun. We talked a lot. Eileen, one of our close friends, was here because it was her birthday, like the week before. So she was here in Miami to go to a music festival and celebrate her birthday with her family. So I like texted her and I was like, hey, you want to come and we'll surprise the girls? So
Nice.
They were so happy. It was just a great time,
I love that. That's awesome.
And then on Tuesday, I had to be working at 6 a.m. So I woke up dragging ass. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. I was dizzy. I had too many Aperol spritzes. But worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great time. I know.
sounds
I feel like
great.
I've been talking about me for way too long now.
But it was your birthday, so you can go ahead, talk about you.
Okay, so no, I'm kidding.
You can. I
Yeah,
don't
so it
mind.
was just a really, really good time. And just excited because like now I get to put the Christmas tree up.
I know. It's pretty much like Halloween. So once Halloween is over, it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, yeah. Back home in my country, Christmas started October 1st.
Yeah, because you guys don't do Halloween.
No, I mean, like, they do it, like, the young people, but it's not, like, a thing for us, It's
Sure.
not, like, a seasonal,
Right.
part of...
It's very much an American thing, Halloween.
Yeah, it's really Americanized in that sense. It's like, we only celebrate because they probably see it on social media.
Yeah, well, get some candy.
I mean, we love candy. But yeah, it's time to put the Christmas tree up, all the fun stuff. I have not watched anything on TV that is not what we were supposed to watch, or Dance Moms.
That's okay. You've been busy.
Yeah,
Busy celebrating.
or a little bit of Love is Blind because Trey is watching it all the time. So
The weddings are today.
Really?
Yeah.
So exciting.
And wait, so you haven't like totally caught up with it?
No. I'm at the
care?
meeting of the families.
Okay.
Yeah. But I've seen a lot of stuff on TikTok,
Right.
like one girl that lost a lot of weight. So I'm not gonna say anything just in case you haven't seen.
Oh, I don't care about that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure like because they have the reunion, so it's been like a year since all this happened or whatever. Because they even mentioned in the episode that it was like 2022. So it must have been like
Wait,
like
question.
the fall.
Is this Nick Lachey's and Vanessa's show still?
Yeah, they're still hosting it.
Oh, so they're still gonna host their reunion?
Yeah, like they literally only come in like 3 times. Once in the beginning when everyone's in the pods and they're like, get ready to find your husband, get ready to find your wife. And then that's it. And then they come back when they do the dress fittings and the tux fittings for the weddings. And then they leave. And then they do the reunion.
So in the reunion,
That's
I've
it.
seen their like I saw a reunion a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Vanessa goes
It
hard
was
in
so
those.
bad, but it's so bad. She asks questions that she should not be asking. I don't
know.
They don't have like I don't know.
Tact?
They're not yeah, they're not sensitive enough to. I don't even know how to like say it. It's just. It's so annoying. Like every time I see it, I'm like, oh, they should not be doing these questions.
It's like a police interrogation.
Yeah.
More than like an interview.
Why are you huffing and puffing?
Yeah.
Oh, let
She
me
gets
do whatever
really
the fuck I want.
She gets really intense, and I think it's like she does meet these people, and maybe there is a personal side of it that gets invested of like, well, I really want these people to find love. But like they're not
up.
your friends. Yeah, I know. Like
Vanessa,
you're there to do a job.
You're making money out of them. So
Right, exactly. Like you're there to do a job.
don't pretend you care.
Yeah, I know.
I'm such a bitch, but
No,
I'm just keeping it real.
It's true. People have made comments in the past of like they're too much.
I don't like her at all because that one time that I saw that whole reunion, I was like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable right now. You know?
Yeah, which one? Because she does that like every time.
It was like 2 years ago.
Mm.
It was one that I was like, oh, she should not be doing this. And then like, because Nick wasn't that bad, but still, it's like, you guys should not just be producers. That's it.
Sure.
I don't know.
You get the ick.
Yeah. But that's like I haven't watched anything else. I'm trying to think if I watched anything else. There's like things that I need. Like I need to watch Shrinking.
I know
the new
second
season
season just came out.
I have not seen it yet. So and
There's
I
quite a
love
few
that
things.
show.
I loved the first season.
I
That
thought
was so
Only
good.
Murders in the Building, all the episodes were out already, and they're definitely not.
Oh, I haven't started watching it because
one came out
I wanted
yesterday,
to,
and I
like,
was like,
binge.
yeah. One came out yesterday, so I was like, oh, I'm glad I haven't like really watched the whole thing.
So it must be almost done because I think there's only supposed to be like 8 to 10 episodes, and I feel like it's pretty much there because it started at the end of August, and I think they released like the first 2 episodes, so it should be done, I think.
Probably.
But yeah, I need to watch that. I need to watch Agatha All Along.
Yes, me too. Me too. I heard good things about it.
Me too. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
so I
Patty
do want to
LuPone
watch
is in it.
Yeah. And I mean Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
She's like a rising star, basically. Wait, I wanted to tell you something that I just saw on TikTok. And apparently Jamie Foxx talk today. Do you see that?
I think I know where you're going, but go ahead. I was actually going to bring this up.
So apparently he was drugged and raped.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken.
Okay, wait, I don't know about this.
And
because Diddy, right? This is in connection with Diddy.
oh yeah. Diddy did it to him.
Okay.
That's what it said. And then I had to get ready for this. So I was like, oh my God, I need to see this whole thing. So I just paused it and saved the video.
Yeah. There's so much that's still going to be coming out. So I saw that Jamie Foxx had made a statement that the reason that he was in the hospital last year and almost died was because of Diddy. That Diddy's been poisoning him with cyanide. They found cyanide in his system like 3 different times. So, yeah. So
why is he doing that? Like, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with this guy? Like, why is...
I think
what
it's a
is
control
his childhood?
thing. A power thing. I don't know. And the fact that his mom was like standing beside him being like, oh, my son is wonderful. I'm sorry, Mom.
Wait.
You fucked up.
Wait. I saw this whole thing because, most people are like us. They want to know what made him the way that he is.
Yeah.
Diddy. So they were like looking into, his past. Mm-hmm. He went to like if I'm not mistaken, like an all boys Catholic school. Just everyone out there, this is allegedly. I can be talking out of my ass. This is what I remember from the TikTok that I saw. Most of my information comes from TikTok.
Hey, sometimes a reliable source. I mean, listen, take it with a grain of salt, but I'd say most of the time.
Well, most of them have like the green screen with the document behind them. Like they're reading articles about
They show those receipts.
Yes. So pretty much what happened, he was in this like Catholic all boys school. And there was a lot of complaints about this priest or some that was molesting the kids. Yes, and the year after he graduated, that priest got fired. It's a priest or a father because he was molesting the kids, and he worked there while Diddy was in that school, so he could have been a victim of that. So it's like one of those that is like the abuser makes the victim becomes the abuser.
Right. Yeah.
Which is a trend at this point.
Right. But also it's like there are plenty of people who are abused and they don't do that. It's like
and don't
it
do
doesn't
that. That's true.
Yeah, it doesn't justify the behavior, like your trauma that you received to give that to someone else. Like how fucked up you became because of it. Why would you want to put that on someone else? I don't know. I don't
That's
understand.
True. I agree with you.
But I'm also fortunate that I have never been in those circumstances.
Yeah.
I was never molested.
Like we don't know
I've
what
never
it
been sexually
feels
assaulted.
Like. Mm-hmm.
So, but still, I mean, that doesn't justify it. And it's like, he's like diabolical though. Mm-hmm. Like this is another level. Because listen, I was thinking about it. I was like, listen, R. Kelly is a piece of shit. But I feel like, sorry, this is terrible, but you're run-of-the-mill pedophile. Like, he just liked younger girls and sexually assaulting them, raping them, peeing on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Diddy is like a whole other level. Because it's like, it wasn't just women, it's men. And I'm pretty sure grown men and boys. But also grown men. Because also someone came out with this audio clip of him and LeBron James.
I know.
And see, now this is where I'm like, I don't know, because I heard the audio clip and I'm like, but also I've seen things where AI is now coming into effect, So it's like, is it actual clip or was it AI generated? Because you can take someone's like interviews that people have done and you're using their voice and you can clip them together to make it sound like they're really saying these things. So I don't know, but seems like LeBron James was, excuse me, sexual with Diddy. I don't know. That's the thing. I'm like, what to believe
so
and not
scary.
to believe. So,
I guess like the judges will decide and will let us know, what the truth is behind all of this, which I really want to know all the celebrities.
Oh, the one time that I would really want to just go and sit in on a trial.
Yes, I'm like, who's testifying?
Be there, like, taking notes, like, oh my God. Terrible, I know.
There was something that came out that Jane Doe was an 8-year-old was either raped or molested, and a celebrity was there witnessing. So
terrible.
there's a lot of shit is gonna come out. It just said like unnamed celebrity. So
right. And it just seems like so many people, though, are coming forward. And it's like, how many people knew that this was going on and you didn't say anything?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How could you live
Super
with
fucked up.
yourself? I'd like to think that I'd be a good enough person that even if I wasn't believed, that I would go to the police.
Or maybe some people did go to the police. And he had like the thing going on there. Like
Sure.
I
mean, that's true. He has money, so it's like you don't know. There are
he
cops
had
out there
a
who
way
are
of
not
silencing
right.
them. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, that was fucked up, and we're about to talk about a really fucked up thing. So,
It's
great
just gonna get worse.
segue from fucked up to even more fucked up.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, we did say that we were really excited about this movie that we watched. So what we're discussing today is Woman of the Hour, directed by Anna Kendrick.
Her debut.
Which is really, really exciting because it's the first time she's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'll read the little plot and then we'll dive into it. So, Woman of the Hour tells the story of a chilling true crime moment in history when serial killer Rodney Alcala appeared on a TV dating show. The film focuses on the tension of the show, how Rodney's appearance there flew under the radar, and the ultimate repercussions of his crimes. Which I do think it focuses a little bit more on, the game. It's not just the game. It just tells us more of the story. Before we dive in, I want to say that for a person that was directing for the first fucking time, she did an incredible job.
Amazing.
I was like, wow. It just felt like this is something that she's done, a professional, something that she's done many, many times. And it was her first time ever. So brava to Anna Kendrick. Great job.
Yeah, really good. I was impressed.
Yeah. And we know this case already. We know the case about Cheryl Bradshaw, I think is her last name. Mm-hmm. And it's really, it's really sad that, this situation happened for a long period of time. And this guy was just like having the best time of his life and nobody did anything or nobody knew, and people just kept turning the other way.
It's like Ted Bundy. These psychopaths, these sociopaths, they just have a charm about them. And it's like especially back in the 60s, 70s especially, where it's like, I'm sorry, but these cops, they're it's like a boys club. So it's like they go and they talk to a guy, and then at the end, you're joking about everything. Yeah, they're joking about everything, and it's like, oh, this guy couldn't have done it. You're fine. We'll see you later. You know, they don't take anything seriously. It's like the training back then. I don't know. I mean, obviously, cases like this are what's taught, so that now, hopefully, people who are entering law enforcement, yes, they're aware of, like, well, not every serial killer or person who commits terrible crimes looks a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be like, "Ugh." That they can be intelligent and charming and personable.
I wanted to, like, it is really frustrating.
So frustrating.
But let's dive into, you know, Cheryl's story at the beginning and how they portray it. Like, from the beginning, you see they set it up so nicely. She set it up so nicely. So basically, she's a struggling actress, and she's looking, you know, for her time to shine. And by the way, that first scene in the audition, not the first one, the audition. It was so funny because it was so relatable, you know, especially if you ever audition and you would just go there and read lines and they wouldn't even fucking look at you. It was, as a person that did, like, I did probably more than 400 auditions, and many times I would just go in there and be like, I feel like I just talked to a wall. Nobody was paying attention to me. So the fact that she goes in, she reads a scene, and then they're having a full-on discussion, personal, and then they turn around to her and they're like, "Thank you for coming." And
and talking about her.
Do you want me to try it in a different way?
Talking about her really loudly in front of her, like she's not there. Like, and she's literally like there. 2 feet away in front of them. Oh, she looks like that girl from The Thing.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
They did that so funny.
Yeah.
They did great.
She's too aggressive. We don't want that. Yeah, you were great, sweetie.
Yeah. It's also like, give her the direction. She's asking for it.
Right. Do you do nudity, though?
When she's like, no.
Yeah, it's not something I'm comfortable with. Oh, okay.
That's not for me.
Right.
No.
Not every woman has to show their tits.
Oh my gosh. And then, you know, just from that moment, you know who she is, which is, it's so
intelligent, she's strong,
done.
she's smart.
And like when they're like Cheryl and they confuse her, they're calling somebody else, and she's like, yeah? And they're like, oh no, and she's like, oh right, you're not calling me, you're calling somebody else.
Right. I love her little conversation in the car when she's like, yeah, you could just, I don't know, talk to me like I'm there or not. It's great.
Yeah.
Ah! You know.
I know. It's so true.
Yeah.
She did a really great job portraying that character and directing herself. So.
But yeah, real quick. So, well, moving forward is like, I think it's so funny because you said we know exactly who she is. And it's like, you could tell she's independent, smart, strong, like just like a feminist, you know. And when she goes into her apartment and she like sees the guy and she's like, oh fuck, I have to go, and like she goes, and like he is a nice guy, but you could tell he is into her, she's not into him, and then they end up going and like getting a drink, and when he like touches her and she's like, oh, whoa,
she flinches.
Sorry, I just had a weird day, I wasn't expecting it. And it's like, that was the time, you know, of when women didn't
fuck politeness. They were so polite.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing, is like they didn't want to hurt men's egos. They didn't want to hurt their feelings. Instead of being like, hey, listen, I just see you as a friend. And the next thing you know, like, she's in bed with him. Like, she slept with him. And it's like, you know that she did it because she felt bad and didn't want to hurt his feelings. Yes, it was a pity fuck.
A pity fuck.
Right, because she's laying there like, oh, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but those were the times. And it's just so frustrating. But it's kind of nice that it's like, how we have come far in that regard, where it's like, if
Oh
women
my
don't
God,
want to fucking do something, we're like,
100%.
get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to talk
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yep.
Ugh.
I agree. We've come a long way.
Right.
Let's talk about that first scene, actually, right before they show the audition scene, which is Rodney with like one of the victims. You know, these fucking predators are just like the most awful human beings, because this victim is telling him like a really personal story about, you know, her ex and how she was pregnant and she was excited, and then he just fucking left her basically and abandoned her. And which, by the way, you know who she is? She's from Pitch Perfect.
Yes. Yeah.
She's worked with Anna Kendrick 3 times already, so I'm sure that audition was not like the audition that they showed us.
I feel like Anna probably called her and was like, hey, do you want to play this part? And she's probably like, yeah.
She did a great job, because, you know, I don't know if you remember when he, like, touches her neck, and she's like, what the fuck? Like, like the way she reacts immediately to it. It's,
I mean, it's your women's intuition. Like, that flag goes up and you're like, oh, no. Like, what the fuck is happening? I'm in danger. Like, you just know as a woman.
Is also his, you know, his tactic. Listen, it's really hard for serial killers to get away with shit like that now. Like his tactic of like, oh, let's do a photo shoot. I'll drive us there. You know, you just hop in his car and he takes you fucking hundreds of miles away just for a fucking photo.
Right.
That doesn't really happen anymore. But back then it was
like hitchhiking.
Like that all the time.
Happened all the time. And like any woman, a man comes up to you and he's like, hey, I'm a photographer, like I want to enter this contest, you'd be a great subject. I mean, that is flattering. You know, or like, hey, you could be a model, you know, like, oh, this could be my big break. Like, who didn't want to be Farrah Fawcett, you know, back in the 70s? Yeah. So of course, like, you're gonna go along with it. Yeah.
And, you know, we see that encounter, and it's just like fucking awful. You know, the fact that he kind of like almost kills her, but he doesn't let them die. Then he rapes them, and then he murders them. Right. It is just so low. Like, I don't even know how to call it, because it's like, you already hit me so hard that I'm in so much fucking pain right now, and now you're just gonna make it worse for me. Right. You know? And more humiliating, basically, for them. Like, I don't know the feeling, you know? Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's also like at the point that he's like, he physically destroys them for them not to be able to fight back. You know? Yeah, so he murders them, and thank goodness they did not show any of that. It was more like...
Yeah, I kind of appreciate that.
I was really well done in that sense. And then after that, they show us basically his next victim, which is going to be the girl that is like moving into that apartment.
Right. Well, they do bounce around a lot time-wise. Like, it'll be like 1979, 1972. So it's like all over the place to try to keep up. But also that just shows you like the time span that he did this.
Years. Yeah.
Fuck, sorry.
Poor T-Bone-ski.
I know. Oh my God. Okay. I put a cough drop in, so hopefully that'll help.
Yeah, so when they show us the one with the girl that is like moving into that apartment, and you know, it's pretty much a moment of desperation with the girl, you know, and has all that furniture on
right, you think you're just gonna like, ask like, oh, like a nice guy, he'll help me. Well, it's fine.
Yeah, like how would you even second guess that when you have you know, a person that is like trying to fucking help you. But then
Right.
I want to talk about, you know, that actor Daniel something. His last name is, I'll tell you right now, I have it here. Daniel Zovatto. Oh god, I am messing that up. I have it here.
Zovatto. Yeah.
Daniel Zovatto.
Yes.
He does such a good job at being like fine, like everything is fine, and then like a switch, you know, in his eyes when he's like, "Can I take a picture of you?"
Right.
Which is the creepiest shit ever. You know, it's like she was like, "Oh, you know, like, you know, maybe not now," or something like that. She says, and
because even before that, she was like, "Hey, thanks so much for the help, but like, I have so much to do here," which is basically like, "Okay, thanks for your help. Now get the fuck out."
Get out.
But
yeah.
again, that's the whole thing where it's like women don't want to be mean. You know, so instead of like, if she had just been like, "Okay, like I need you to leave now. Like I appreciate your help, but like you have to go."
Yeah.
And then she just continues to have a conversation.
In the meantime, they're also showing this back and forth of, you know, Cheryl, which Anna Kendrick's character, being in the dating game show. So they're showing her like choosing, you know, like 3 bachelors, and obviously the psychopath or the sociopath is the one with the best answers, knows what to do, because this is already he's good at this game, you know, right? Because
he knows what women want to hear.
Exactly. He's been playing that for so long, you know. Now he's just doing it on national television. Yeah. They also show through that moment a friend of one of the victims that is in the show, watching this show, realizing that this was the last person that was with her best friend that was raped and
probably
murdered.
The one who murdered her.
And that whole thing is happening in between the cases, which I think is genius, because I think watching that dating game scenes, like watching them back to back would have been kind of annoying. So having them like to break in between, because some moments were really like a comedic relief, you know. Like, oh my god, I'm breathing, but then, you know, they had the moments of like the best friend being in the audience, you know, like getting the TV, the monitor down, you know, when she was trying to walk out, and how she was treated when she tried to speak up, you know,
like when she goes to see the producer, that was fucked up, and it ends up being the janitor.
It's the janitor, and not even her boyfriend believes her right away.
Oh, I know. I love that she was like, "Get out. I need you to get out right now."
Yep. Yeah, because also, like, if you don't believe me, who's going to believe me? You know?
Right. Yeah. But I think that's so many men, too, is like, oh, like, oh, you know, we're guys. Like, we don't think other guys do these things. Women are all crazy.
Oh, God.
What I was going to say before, when you were talking about that first scene when he's taking pictures of that woman, and like when you were saying how she was being so open about her past, it just goes to another level of the, like, I don't know, like psychopathy with this guy. Because I feel like, you know, you've probably watched...
He lets them be vulnerable.
Right, and but also humanizing them. Because when I tell you, like, a trauma that's happened to me, or, like, these things that hurt me, I think that humanizes a person. And it makes them vulnerable. It shows this side of someone. And it should make you feel more connected. And I just feel like with all of that, the fact that he could still commit these rapes and murders, like, you have to be so fucked up. Fucked up. Because, I mean, I'm sure you've watched, like, I Survived, or like any of those other things, where victims who have had these things happen to them, and they try to humanize themselves with their kidnappers or these people who want to rape them and murder them, and they try to appeal to them, you know, like, hey, I'm a person too, and most of the time it works, and they're like, okay, like, I can't do this. So the fact that it's like that kind of shit did not work on him.
I wonder if he like disassociates or something,
or like what happened that he just like, hated women so much.
Yeah.
Like he must have just hated women. Yeah, I don't know.
God, it just like makes me so. Ugh.
It's fucking terrible, though.
It's horrible. It's like, and again, like, I want to know what's going on in their head. Like, what's their brain chemistry? Like, what triggers said? Why is it satisfying to him? Like, what happened in his past? Because it's always like that. Like, people are not born like that. It's usually from a kind of trauma, you know. So I'm like, what happened that this is his way of being happy, or, you know, satisfying himself, which is super disgusting.
Right. Definitely a control thing, for sure.
But talking about that, I wanted to go to the last victim that they show. Her name was Amy in the movie, which, by the way, I looked up the actress because I think she did an amazing job.
The Runaway, right?
This is her second job ever. She grew up in theater, and this is her second filming job, you know. But let's talk about that part after he almost kills her, but then after he rapes her, where he's crying.
I know, piece of shit.
Her. Unbelievable. I was like, this is no. Like, thank goodness they show, you know, that she's tight. Okay, so Amy, the guy is like crying. The guy is crying next to her, but like crying, like, and the way she like opens her eyes, gasping for air, because God knows how many injuries she has already. You know?
Like, he beat the shit out of her.
And then he raped her. And then she's tied up. And in that moment, she realizes, I'm with a fucking sociopath right now. You know?
Yeah.
This is really fucking bad. So, that, her facial expression, realizing that, and the way she starts talking to him, that she's like, can we keep this between us?
Like, she did something wrong. Like, I'd be so embarrassed. Let's go back to your place, babe.
She said, the way she said baby was what made me look her up. Because I could hear the nervousness in her voice, which was an amazing acting choice. And again, I'm going to be giving kudos to Anna Kendrick, because I don't know if she was a casting director. I know she was just a director, but to get an actor to do that is just beautiful, you know.
Right.
And the way she said baby, like her, like she, God.
And then when they're walking to the car, and you can tell that it's like taking everything for her not to just run fuck away from this guy. Like, she's wants to get away from him so you could tell she's like, how do I get out of this, and that, to me, like, when you hear again about these women who survive, it's these type of women, like, they are so smart of like, how do I appeal to this guy, you know, and like, having had talked to him a little bit the day before and like learning about him, okay, how can I use that to my advantage to get out of this situation?
Yeah.
And she was just so smart about it.
And you see her in the car too when there's that truck in the intersection that he's waiting to see if she's gonna do something, but she's like, she realizes this is not the time. Like, I'm still in the middle of nowhere. There's not a lot of people here, you know, until they get to that gas station, you know, and she's like, this is it, you know, he's trusting me to be leaving me by myself, and there's a fucking restaurant right across the street with people in it.
Right.
So, it's just so she portrayed that beautifully. I can't believe that was her second job on TV. You know.
Yeah, no, me either. She did great.
She did amazing.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Yeah.
I also wanted to talk about
Really
the girl that played the best friend, the black girl. Her name is Nicolette. She's like she's not like, she's Leslie Odom's wife. From
What?
Yeah,
Really?
I looked her up because I think she did an amazing job. And when she's like,
are you telling me a fun fact right now?
I'm so sorry.
No, I didn't have that. I didn't have that.
Okay, good.
No, yes. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I looked her up because honestly, I kept going over. I was like, there was not one bad actor there. And no. I don't want to say bad actor. Bad actors doesn't exist. Not a bad performance.
Yeah.
You know, like the
totally.
waitress in that scene of Cheryl with fucking the psychopath
Rodney. Yeah.
With Rodney when she
psychopath is fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even name him. Fuck
either
him.
Or.
Yeah.
When
he's like a second round. And
when
he's turned around. No. Right. And I also fucking love that in this movie where it's like women are for women because they know that men just look at them like a piece of meat. So it's like women have to stand up for each other. So it was like the makeup artist when she told Cheryl, like, you're doing great, honey. Like, just have fun with it. Like, just
what, is
be
he gonna
you.
Fire you? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, he's not going to see you again, so just do whatever the fuck you want. And she did, which I loved. And then, the waitress being like, oh, you missed it. Last call.
Yep. I love that she did that. Because, again, like, the date, obviously he's already a psychopath, but the date was going well, and then there was, like, a switch when they didn't agree on something.
Right.
It was
because he called her, he said that her soul, she had like a...
Dark? Was it?
Like, he compared her to an artist, like a musical artist of the time. Fuck, I can't remember who it is now. Like a Janis Joplin or something, whatever. He was like,
yes.
vibe about you. And she was like, really? I don't think so. And it was like her disagreeing with him. And he was like, took a drink and like kind of slammed it down, and you could tell she was like, oh no, I gotta get out of here. Like, a guy for him to get that upset just for being like, oh no, I don't really think so.
I can't get over that. Gross. Yes.
Sick.
Disgusting. So that, again, like, the guy does the switch, and that part when they're finally leaving the date and the close-ups in their faces, and then when she starts walking, the white, like how the screen went like wide and you can see everything.
Right.
Oh god.
And he's like, can I get your number?
And when he's like, can you tell it back to me?
sure. That whole scene just like, oh my, it made me so nervous. And it's like, no one is in the parking lot. Nobody. One's out there.
It's the middle of the night. Darkness.
Right, exactly. So just like as a woman being like, fuck. And
she's
you
like
feel it in her too.
Wait, but when she doesn't give him the right number, and she's like, yeah, there's no way I'm going out with you. And then he whispers, I could like bash your head or something like that.
Yeah, and she was like, What?
And she turns around and she just looks at him for a long time. She stares at
Right.
him. And she's like,
Yep.
what?
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I would have ran. I would have ran in my fucking car. Fuck that.
Well, because
But
I
again, I'm
feel
surprised
like,
that she said something to him, though, you know, because the whole thing of like going along and like being demure and whatever, and the fact that she's like, I'm not going anywhere with you.
yeah.
I was a little surprised, but
Yeah.
also like, yes, thank you. Like, fuck this guy.
Oh my God. What? And with his fucking long hair. Gross.
It was a little too long. I mean, if they were trying to make him look like the real Rodney Alcala, it was a little too long.
I didn't even look up a picture of him. I looked up a picture of Cheryl. I was like, I don't want to give him the gratification.
I don't know how
although
people
he's
thought
dead,
Rodney
but
Alcala
still.
was good looking.
Yeah, that whole like dinner to the car thing had me on the edge the whole time. Talk
I was
about
so
good
nervous.
performances,
Yeah.
good direction.
Mhm.
It was just a really, really well done. Again, like kudos to her for, you know, making the decisions she made while she was filming this.
Right. Because I feel also it's like as a woman and you go out with your friends, you know, you have a night out or like you go on a date with a guy or you encounter a guy at a bar or nightclub. I think like most of us have had that feeling of unease
I
with a
also
guy.
like sometimes I watch these things and I'm like, I'm surprised nothing ever happened to me
Oh my gosh, girl.
in my
Seriously?
20s.
No, me too. The shit that I did, like especially just meeting guys at their places. Like I had never met them
Or
before,
like,
and I would
or
connect with
like,
them on a dating app and be like, "Oh, I'll go over to your place." What the
or
fuck was
like,
I thinking?
or the bar being close to their place, not to your place, their place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm really shocked that nothing
Universe,
super
thank you for
serious.
protecting me.
Seriously,
Yeah.
like
I never
seriously.
had, if I ever had like a bad feeling of someone, it was never like a date. It was just like out there with a group of people. Like it was never,
Sure.
but I can't fucking imagine what it would feel like going out on a date and then having that fucking feeling of there's something wrong here.
Yeah. Then that's what I'm saying. Women's intuition, like we just have this feeling, and it's like
Hmm.
when you know, go. Like your
Yeah,
gut is
right
telling
away.
you something.
Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to uh bring up was again the actors that did not have like leading roles but were
Mm-hmm.
crushing it. The
Yeah.
the host of the show,
Tony Hale, I love him.
Tony Hale. So we had the host of the show, we had the hairdressers and like the
Yeah,
stylists of the show.
love them.
We had the waitress. We also had the boyfriend of the girl, an
Mm-hmm.
amazing job. The parents, um, the agent on the phone. I
Yeah,
was like, the choices of the performers for this movie, of the actors for this movie,
right.
was top tier. Like
Well, the two guys, Bachelor One and Bachelor Two,
a Bachelor One,
like they
Bachelor
did great.
Two, the casting directors in the audition,
Mm-hmm. All
the
the women,
neighbor.
all the women who were
Yeah,
victims, like
yes, all the women that were victims, all of
yeah,
them. It
yeah.
was just, and I'm sure it was a low budget film, you know, it it was, I don't have a bad thing to say about it. If
Right.
anything,
Even
I just wanted more,
more, yeah.
you
Even
know.
the guy who worked at the LA Times, when
Mm-hmm.
Rodney was like, "Oh, if you want to like come with me," and then like later when he's in the bathroom because he just got interviewed by the police,
Yeah.
and he's like shaking and kind of crying, and then he hears him like cough in the bathroom, and he's like,
Oh my God.
yeah, sorry, man, I can't go. Like even just that, it was like I feel his nervousness of being like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
around this dude at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And being
Mm-hmm.
like scared, like I thought he was gonna choke him out in the bathroom.
Me fucking too. I like
Yeah, the
my
hairs on your arm.
hairs.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh no. Also boys. I was like, also the boys too.
Mm-hmm.
Gross. This guy's disgusting.
Yeah.
Because the fact that he would like need them to be unconscious, like that's all I think about, you know? Ugh. Okay. So, do you have fun facts?
I have a lot.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
let's
a
dive into
lot.
it.
Okay.
Let's dive
Woo.
into it
All
because
right.
I did listen to two podcasts that they
Oh, okay.
interviewed Anna Kendrick. So,
Oh, cool. Great. Okay. So if you
yeah,
have
yeah.
anything to add, please.
I'll dive in. Yeah.
So yeah, some of this is about the movie, the making of the movie, and then some of it is what was in the movie versus what was,
The
really
case.
happened. Yeah, so
I'm
a
dying to know
lot.
those things.
Okay, cool. So I have
Yeah.
quite a few things. So
Okay.
buckle up, bitches.
Put my
Strap it in.
seatbelt on.
I love it. I love it. All right. Um, so some of Cheryl's bad experiences as an aspiring actor mirror Anna Kendrick's own. So there was a comment that was made about Cheryl's breasts that was lifted verbatim from something that happened to Anna when she was 19. So it's like you hope that like we've come far, but
Not that far, I guess.
not that far. Yeah. Like that shit still happens. It's like, fuck.
Ugh.
Because the misogyny, Jesus Christ.
That conversation of them two was just, I had no words
Well, and like
to them.
the Bachelor number 2 being like, yeah, I can't do anything less than a C cup. Ugh. Sick. And like, how big is
Gross.
your thing, sweetie?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guys with
Probably a
the
pinky.
tiniest, a little
Yeah.
carrot. All right. The real Rodney Alcala graduated from the UCLA School of Fine Arts, and he later studied film under Roman Polanski at NYU.
Oh
Anna
my gosh.
Kendrick she cut a scene from the film in which Alcala discusses Polanski's accusations of drugging and raping 13-year-old Samantha Geimer in 1977, which I do think is interesting in a few ways. Because
Wow.
also,
Yeah.
sorry, not just like the fact that he studied under Roman Polanski and he was someone who
Mm-hmm.
like raped women and
Yep.
like was interested in underage girls and I don't know. Um, Netflix acquired the film for $11 million shortly after its world premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival.
Okay.
So I'm guessing, is that how that works? Like you show the movie at a film festival and then like
Yeah.
these
I
streaming
think like
services buy it?
yeah, I think it also like depends on the critics too, because
Mm,
um
of course.
like let's say this movie is one of those that could like qualify to one of those festivals,
Hmm.
but like Hitman is not a movie that would qualify for that. You know what I mean?
It's not. Oh, I thought it
It's
Oscar
not,
worthy.
right?
Yeah,
Especially
given
the
all the
improv
Oscars.
scene.
Never forget.
Moving on. The movie was originally titled Rodney and Cheryl, and then later
Mhm.
became The Dating Game. But then
Mm.
obviously Woman of the
Became
Hour,
Woman
which
of
I
the Hour.
like.
I like it
I
too.
like that.
I like it way better than all those other names.
Yeah, same. Oh,
Also,
I love
don't give
this.
Rodney a name.
I know. Fuck him, man.
No, what
Seriously.
an asshole. Hmm.
Piece of shit. So again, we mentioned that this was Anna Kendrick's debut as a director. So originally she was set to just star in it only, but then she found support from Paul Feig
Hmm.
and Brittany Snow,
Hmm.
who she worked with on Pitch Perfect. So I bet they were like, you
Yeah.
should do that, because I'm sure that it's like a lot of actors sort of get the bug anyway of like, maybe I wouldn't mind doing like
Hmm.
behind the
Hmm.
camera. So it's
Yeah.
like you mention it and they're like, yeah, go for it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I thought she did great. Um, Sally Field was actually on The Dating Game in 1965, and also appearing on the show, Don Johnson, Burt
Oh wow.
Reynolds, who were both
Wow.
bachelors, and Michael Jackson was on as a child. So I don't know if he like
Oh.
performed or something, but
Let's hope it was performing if it was a child.
seriously, ooh, what the fuck?
Oof.
Uh, the real Rodney Alcala was born to Mexican American parents, and the gentleman who plays Rodney, Daniel
Costa
Zovatto,
Rica.
he is Costa Rican. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one.
Oh, did you?
Latino
Okay.
represent, baby.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, so we were talking about the scene when they're in the little like tiki bar.
Hmm.
So Anna Kendrick rewrote that scene the night before shooting it. So she said that there was a moment where the waitress knocked over their drinks and Rodney got kind of aggressive, but it didn't
Mm.
feel right. So she changed it to her escape route being the signaling to the waitress
Yeah,
of like,
yeah,
don't serve me
like
another drink,
don't.
which I love so much more. And I feel like is
Yeah,
way more realistic as a woman, where you just sort of
I
like
think so too.
look in each other's eyes and it's like you could just tell you're like, no, don't do it, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
So I'm glad she changed that. Good call.
I'm glad too. Yeah.
Um, so I'm like all over the place with these, but during Rodney
Mm.
Alcala's trial, his penalty phase of his trial in 2010, he played Arlo Guthrie's 1967 song Alice's Restaurant, in which the narrator tries to avoid being drafted for the Vietnam War by trying to persuade a psychiatrist that he's unfit for the military because of his supposed extreme desire to kill. The jury took only an afternoon to sentence Alcala to death. I wonder why. Hmm.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
It like total Ted Bundy though, where
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
he thinks that he's smarter than everybody
yeah.
else
Hmm.
and he can like get himself out of these things, and people like you see through that shit. You're like, what a fucking moron.
Yeah,
Good.
what an idiot.
Seriously. And he is dead. He died at the age of 77. Too old. Should have been
Too
younger.
old.
But
Yeah.
July 24th, 2021, in California prison at Corcoran.
Mm. Okay.
Uh, Jeez, this is insane to me. Rodney Alcala had appeared on the show even after serving 2 terms for molesting 2 girls under the age of 13, including an 8-year-old
Jesus fucking
whom he had
Christ.
raped and beaten. Also, unbeknownst to the police at the time, Alcala had raped and murdered at least 5 women in the months before the broadcast. So it's like he was already like a serial killer at that
They're like,
point.
oh, let's just have him in this show.
What was the vetting process? I wonder. But again, he was charming,
None.
so they're probably like, "Oh, you seem like a good guy. You're a photographer. Like
Hmm.
you got a good job. You're charismatic. You can be on the show. That's fine." Sick.
Wow, that's disgusting
Serious. Like,
for babies.
I have so many more.
Okay.
Oh God, sorry. Okay. While the real Cheryl probably never went for a drink with Rodney after taping, thank God, she did tell the show's contestant coordinator that she was getting weird vibes and didn't feel comfortable seeing him outside the show. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying. Women's intuition. Like you
intuition.
just
Hmm.
fucking know. And
Hmm.
their trip was not to Carmel. It was to Magic Mountain Theme Park.
Where the fuck is that?
I don't even know if I didn't look up if it even exists anymore today, but it's probably just like a
Oh.
little tiny theme park, probably like outside of LA or something.
Hmm.
But at least that would be like a day trip. Can you imagine going like on a getaway with someone that you just met?
No, no, no.
Yeah, gross. Well, Bachelor number two may not have given Cheryl a verbal warning about Alcala because, when he like gives her the
Yeah.
double kiss and is like, watch out for that asshole. So that may not have happened. But in interviews, he did say that Rodney had mentioned in the green room that he always gets the girl.
Mm,
And he described Rodney as creepy and that he was a strange guy with bizarre opinions.
mm.
So it's like even the guys were like picking up on like this guy's fucking weird.
Yep. Yep.
Which I do think that says a lot too. Like if guys don't
Yep.
get along with other guys,
Hmm.
yeah, it
It's really rare.
makes
Yeah.
right. It makes
Yeah.
me wonder about them.
Hmm.
It is true that in 1979, Alcala picked up a 15-year-old runaway who he raped and nearly strangled. Her name is Monique Hoyt, and he picked her up while she was hitchhiking. So after he raped her, she did manage to escape by convincing him she wanted to continue the relationship and was then able to raise the alert to the police. However, they did not arrive in time to arrest Alcala, which is insane to me. But eventually, like he does get caught, he goes to prison, and then during his last appeal trial,
Hmm.
when she testified against him in 2010, and it was to see whether or not he would get the death penalty. And uh, this was, I'm sorry. So whether he should get the death penalty for the rape and murder of 4 women and a 12-year-old girl. He had previously been assigned to death row for these crimes, but had the penalty overturned on technicalities. We love our judicial system.
Oh my
Um,
God.
I know. Far from being remarkably collected right after her attack, even 31 years later, Hoyt was so unnerved by the prospect of seeing Alcala again, she needed an LAPD detective to sit with her in the courtroom and told the jury that Alcala had ruined her life.
Poor baby.
I know. It's fucking sad. I mean, the fucking trauma,
Yes.
though. My
Hmm.
God. Um, So Alcala did work at the LA Times in 1979, but he worked
Mm,
as a typesetter, not a
mm.
photographer, although he was frequently hired as a wedding photographer,
Oh God.
which
Oh
also
God.
just so creepy.
Exposed to so much too.
And can you imagine him like being at those weddings, like hunting
Yes.
grounds? Yeah.
Yes. Exposed to
And
too
like
many
people
people.
are drinking, girls are drinking. Like, see, that's why I
A
think
safe
that,
space. You think you're in a safe space.
right, you're having fun with your family and friends, uh, and I think that's also why, because they mentioned at the end of the movie that even though he was only convicted for like eight murders, that it could be
Hmm.
as many as 130.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's fucking insane. But again, it's like he didn't necessarily have like a type,
Mm-hmm.
like the age was in kind of a bigger range.
Mm-hmm.
Like yes, female, but could be anybody, really. So scary.
Insane.
So Alcala's second known victim was 23-year-old flight attendant Cornelia Crilly. So we did see her in the
Okay.
movie.
Mm-hmm.
He actually strangled her with the stocking, not the scarf that we see. And she had just moved into her apartment.
Oh my
Um,
God.
so actually, Alcala, he attended NYU under the name John Berger. He didn't even go under Rodney Alcala. He went by John Berger.
I wonder why.
Um, right. And oh, so then yeah, while he was at NYU, we know that he studied under Polanski, and his obsessive need to take photographs. Um, they think that it might have been because he saw a movie in class. So it was called Peeping Tom. And there's like a photographer in the movie. And they create a tripod with a dagger in one of the legs of the tripod so that he can film his victims' death agonies.
Oh.
So yeah, some people think that maybe this was inspiration. They're fucking terrible.
Horrible.
Uh,
Horrible.
all right, last one, and then I promise I'm done with my novel.
Yeah. I like
So
it.
Anna Kendrick told Rolling Stone in an interview that the character that we see in the dating game, that girl who's like my friend Allison, and okay, so that's not based off of a real person. That
Mm-hmm.
is more of a composite. So it was meant to represent all the people who tried to report Alcala over the years and were ignored, and all the leads that were allowed to go cold. So, for
Okay.
example, the Crilly case, Cornelia,
Yeah.
his second victim,
Mm-hmm.
that case went cold for 40 years.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's
So,
insane.
after that murder, Alcala left New York and got a job as a counselor at an arts camp for girls.
No.
Yeah, he was only picked up by the police because two campers saw his photo on the FBI's 10 most wanted list on a visit to the local post office. California police wanted to charge him with murdering an 8-year-old girl, Tali Shapiro, after beating and raping her with a metal bar, but her family had left the country. I remember this. She's alive. She's been interviewed. Um, with no main witness, prosecutors had to offer Alcala a deal if he pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of child molestation. The judge gave Alcala a sentence of a mere 1 year to life, and he was paroled and back on the streets after only 34 months. Because they do mention in the movie that, like,
Yeah.
he was out on bail and
On
then,
bail. Mm-hmm.
like, he went and killed,
I
like, all
just
the
don't
people.
understand
Ugh.
how there's no like life sentence for child molesters. Like
Right.
how is that even like how is it not like a standard? You molested a child, you could either die or you're going to prison for the rest of your life. Like how is that not the thing? The
Right.
law.
Because I'm sorry, people who have that urge,
It's a
I really don't.
sickness.
It's a sickness, and I don't really think that there's any what's the word that I'm looking for in my foggy brain? Um um there's no way to come
Oh,
back from that. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
Like
there's no healing
there's
from
no
it.
rehabilitation.
Yeah,
Yay, I
no,
got there.
I said no
There's
healing.
I was I was trying to be
Yeah,
more fancy. No
yeah,
rehabilitation. Like
yeah.
there's no cure for that.
Yeah.
So and especially people, I'm sorry, the majority of the time when you hear these stories of they molest, they rape, they murder, it's an
Mm-hmm.
escalation.
Is yeah. Always,
So
always, always, always.
like you get caught once, send them. I
Mm-hmm.
think there also should be like a separate prison for people who do that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, should maybe the other prisoner should kill them. So
I know. Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because a lot of the time they don't last in regular prison.
no,
At
it's
pedophiles,
karma.
bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Um,
like, you wanna hurt little kids? Bye.
bye. In the interviews that I listened to,
Hmm.
she was talking, she did say that she had wanted to, direct something, but she hadn't felt
Hmm.
like connected to anything yet. And
Right.
then when this one came out and she felt the support from some of her peers, she and friends, she was like, okay, I'll do it. But then she also said that after she was done with the project, she had to like take a break from watching like films or TV series that she could only watch like the news because she said that she was so in her head about it that she kept like questioning everything that she was watching. She was like, wait, what
Oh,
was that a character's choice or was that the director choosing? Did they
mm,
cut it or did they just choose to leave it like that? She was like, I wasn't enjoying myself. But
yeah.
she said that this also happened to her when she started having like bigger roles on the screen,
Hmm.
that she was in her head so much about it after finishing every project that she would like watch TV and she would think of all the things. So she was saying that she'll hopefully that that was just because it was her first time being a director, and that
Sure.
it'll go away once she does it more often. Um,
Right.
because she was like, I couldn't put anything else on the TV. It was just like the news because that I wouldn't second guess like how they directed that or like the
Right.
acting choices.
Yeah.
So yeah, and she's like,
Well,
I'm gonna sound really cocky about it, but it's just, I'm like, no, no, she sounds truthful. I can't
yeah.
imagine, putting that new hat on and then experiencing life normal after, taking on this huge role, of
Right.
directing in a movie,
Yeah. I mean, that
which
is
I
like
think
a
she
big
did
deal. I
amazing.
thought she did great. So
Yeah.
don't second guess yourself, Anna. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
she
Like I
did
like a
really good.
lot of the
Mhm.
angles where it was like the women in the car, so like you could see their reflections, or like even at the end when you see Rodney get in the car, he closes it and the mirror, and you see the
Yeah.
Amy sitting in the
Yep.
passenger seat. Just like little things
Yep.
like that. I was like, oh, that's so
Yeah, and
cool.
she said it that she was really purposeful with those things.
Right.
She even talked about like what I had said before when they are in the parking lot, how she wanted it
Mm,
to be like really personal and then zoom out and see like that he's suddenly out of nowhere fucking following her, you know?
right.
And
Yeah.
she said that she kept asking herself like the questions that you would ask yourself as a victim,
Mm,
like, is he following me? Uh, like that like sixth sense that we have, like she kept going in there to take those point of views into the screen, which I think she did an amazing job with,
yeah.
because I felt like I was like, I wanted all the point of views that she gave me is what I wanted, you know.
See, and I think that makes a difference. Like she said, everything was with intention.
Hmm.
Everything.
Hmm.
I think also being a woman. I'm sorry, but like being a
Yeah.
woman and
Yeah.
having probably had those experiences, maybe not to like
Yeah.
full extent, but
Yeah.
like I said, we all like feel these things sometimes. So I
Hmm.
think just having that,
Yeah, so she was saying these things of like, everything. She's like, would I do, what would I do? And
right?
so she tried to get all those, and I think that's why the film was
It
so
was so
well
good.
directed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
she did an
Good
amazing job.
job,
So
Anna.
we obviously, both Tracy and I are giving you thumbs up. We're
2
also
thumbs
giving
up.
you
It was
2
great.
thumbs up. Oh,
I love when it does that. Woo, 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 woo,
yay!
woo.
I think you have to like smile or something like that for it to happen. If you
I
don't,
know
it's
me
not gonna
thinking.
happen. So the Rotten Tomatoes score is 91%,
Oh, nice.
which
Good.
we definitely agree with. The
Yeah.
audience was 69%, but it's still coming in. Like there's
Yeah.
still, you know, I don't think a lot of
Right.
people have seen it yet. I don't think a lot of people know that this is based on real, in a true crime story.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. I hope she does take on more roles like this of like directing
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
film, because she's really, really talented, and I'm so glad she took the risk. You know, it's so funny that I can't believe this is her first time doing that, because it just felt so professional. She also
Right.
said that they did it, like everything was like with in a time crunch. He didn't have a lot of
Mm.
time to like film this. It wasn't like a big budget, So
Wow.
everything had to be like,
Good for her.
yeah. So it's really, really good for it to be her first projects like that. We definitely recommend it, guys. So if you have not seen it, you've probably seen it if you're listening to this. But if you haven't, we do
Yeah.
recommend. It's lovely. It's a fucked up story, but it's really well told.
Right.
And that's pretty much it for today. That's it. We hope Tracy feels better
Yeah.
by next week.
Sorry.
She will. She will.
I
She needs
will.
a lot of hot tea on that throat, baby. Uh,
Oh,
it's awful. Just
sucks.
make
Just
sure
like
you
cough.
subscribe, rate, review. Tell us what you want us to watch. We will be taking a break in like a month, I think it is,
Yeah,
which
for
is
December.
exciting, because it'll give me opportunity to create more social media content, because we have a lot. We have a lot to create
Mm.
with. I just haven't had the time. So really exciting for to see that.
I'm trying to hold on.
I will conclude the recording. Don't worry, Tracy. Tracy
I
is
know I'm
here.
like dying
She's
here.
smiling. She's coughing. And rate,
Flying through
review, and
the mucus.
subscribe. Like all of our social media content, comment on it, and let us know what we should judge next time. Okay. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.